Mambo ya Kongo na Rwanda imekuwa mazito sana. Mambo haya inataka watu waingilie katikati ya Kongo na Rwanda. Mambo imekuwa mazito. Hapa nikiripotiwa nikiwa Rwanda, lakini mambo yamekuwa mazito nikiwa barabarani nikienda. Hata saa hii pia tumejificha. Niwachie mwenzangu ambaye amekuja mapema awaelezee. Ripotiwa nikiwa Victoria Akwi.
I'll focus to the latest from the conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. A summit took place over the weekend in Tanzania. Leaders from the Eastern and Southern Africa met in the city of Dar es Salaam to address the crisis where rebels have threatened to overthrow the Congolese government. Now, the leaders at the summit have urged DRC and Rwanda to agree to an immediate and unconditional ceasefire within 5 days. In a statement, the summit, which brought Rwandan President Paul Kagame and his Congolese counterpart Felix Tshisekedi together for the first time since the conflict began in January, called for the army chiefs from both the blocs to meet within 5 days and provide a technical direction on the ceasefire. The summit, which also brought together leaders from the East African Community and 16-member Southern African Development Community, also called for an opening of humanitarian corridors to evacuate the dead and injured, as well as called for the withdrawal of the uninvited foreign armed groups from the Congolese territory.
Summit directed resumption of direct negotiations and dialogue with all state and non-state parties, military and non-military, including the M23, and under the framework of the Luanda-Nairobi process. The EAC and SADC chiefs of defense forces to meet within 5 days and provide technical direction on immediate and unconditional ceasefire and cessation of hostilities. B, provision of humanitarian assistance, including repatriation of the deceased and evacuation of the injured. C, develop a securitization plan for Goma and surrounding areas.
Now, the first ever summit of both the blocs in Tanzania additionally also called for the DRC's president to negotiate with the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels directly. Kinshasa has repeatedly refused to talk directly with the rebels. Kenya's President William Ruto, who is also the chair of the EAC bloc, in his opening remarks said that dialogue was not a sign of weakness and that it was necessary at this point.
Excellencies, I am confident that you agree with me that dialogue is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to our collective wisdom and strength, both as leaders and as communities. It shows our capacity to articulate issues patiently and clearly, listen to each other, consult comprehensively with a common goal in mind, and negotiate patiently until we reach a better outcome than the bitter results of bloodshed.
However, locals in Bukavu, which is the capital of South Kivu province, is in the M23 sites, expressed their doubts on whether a lasting peace could be achieved following the peace summit in Tanzania.
At the level of Dar es Salaam, there will be no solution. I am convinced that there won't be, given that he himself hasn't left. He had to confront directly with Paul Kagame, the Rwandan president, because he is the real enemy of the DRC. The Congolese who are at the level of North Kivu, those who are in South Kivu fighting, are just pawns, but the real enemy of our country is really Rwanda.
The doubts come after the M23 rebels began advancing in the South Kivu province after making gains in the neighboring North Kivu province and declaring a unilateral ceasefire following the capture of Goma city. Now, M23, which is made up of ethnic Tutsis, say they are fighting for the minority rights. But Kinshasa has said that the Rwanda-backed rebels are seeking control of the eastern region's vast mineral wealth. Now, as the summit was underway in Dar es Salaam on Saturday, reports suggest that fighting was ongoing around 60 kilometers from South Kivu's capital of Bukavu. However, by Sunday, the front line was calm around the city after calls for truce were made at the summit. For now, the M23 rebels have made advances toward the town of Kavumu, which hosts the province's airport and is 30 kilometers short of Bukavu. Now, earlier, the rebels, along with their Rwandan allies, seized the South Kivu mining town of Naibibwe, as well as North Kivu's capital of Goma. They have also vowed to march toward DRC's capital of Kinshasa. Several attempts in the past at mediating peace between the M23 rebels, which have tried to shore up public support in recent days, and the DRC, which has accused Rwandan of military backing the rebels, have failed. Many ceasefires have also collapsed in recent years. But will the two warring sides agree to a ceasefire in the time limit set by the joint summit in Tanzania? We will keep you posted on that.
We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we've put together for you. Touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout the week. Hindu Mandir in we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Togwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
we were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.